So the last fight, when did you realize that was over?
With Conor?
Yeah.
When he fell down the second time, I was like, oh, this is not good. The first time I thought he just slipped. It's hard to tell. It's wild. It's in the moment. I thought he slipped. And then when he got up and he threw a kick again, I'm like, oh, I don't like how his leg just gave out. That didn't seem like – I'm still hoping he's just slipping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's just freaking out because he hasn't been in the octagon in 5 years. And then he started moving around and he like grabbed his knee and buckled.
Okay.
And there was some conversation.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, there was some conversation going on between him and Max Holloway. And I was like, Max is saying he can't fight, like something's wrong. And he's saying, fight me. He's like, get up. And so he lets him up, and then his knee buckles, and then the referee stops the fight.
Yeah. It's always the very, I think it was the very last fight where the ref tried to call it at the end of the third round, and then because he was saying that there was a concussion issue. I mean, I couldn't tell what was going on.
This is the Ilya Topuria fight, the Justin Gaethje fight at the White House.
The Topuria Justin Gaethje fight.
No, he couldn't see.
Okay.
He was saying he couldn't see well because something was wrong with his right eye.
Well, I mean, it looks like his whole face was puffed up, so he couldn't see anything. But okay, so I thought it was a concussion thing, but it was because of his vision.
No, they never do that.
Happened. McGregor blew his knee out in the first few seconds, made an absolute shit ton, $30 million for almost no work. Didn't really take a punch. Max Holloway got paid for nothing as well. The fight didn't happen, and of course, everyone's out there. They've all got opinions. Everyone's calling it a fake and saying that he was injured beforehand and this and that, and shut the hell up, okay? Anytime Conor McGregor fights, anytime there's a big, huge fight, you get tons of casuals tuning in. They don't know what they're talking about. Conor McGregor often starts his fights with something wild. And when you've been away from the sport for 5 years and you're walking into the octagon at the T-Mobile Arena and they've got the dry ice and the crowd is going crazy for you, yeah, you got a fair bit of adrenaline running through your body and you're asking yourself a lot of questions like, have I still got it? Can I still do this, okay? Am I still the guy? Am I as good as what I used to be? Because you never know. Maybe throughout that training camp, maybe he knew he wasn't as good as what he used to be. And that's why he looked really nervous, because he did look nervous before the fight. But that's understandable for all the reasons that I just listed. And the reason he ran out there and jumped in the air and threw that stupid kick that blew his knee out is because of the nerves. And also because he wants to show everyone, I've still got it, I'm still that guy. And you never know, there's a crazy world where the kick...
I would be absolutely surprised, like the most surprised person on the planet, if Conor just showed up for a paycheck, limped in there, and said, I don't care, I'm going to give you guys 1 minute, shave my head into a mohawk, show up, do the intros, and then just bow out 1 minute later. You can say what you want about Conor, but one thing he is not, he's not a quitter. One thing he is not is a bamboozler. The body is unpredictable, and every fight is unpredictable. And if you look at Conor, because I've had a lot of people say, man, why would Conor do that? He came out like an idiot, jumped across the cage and threw a kick. Conor always does that. I'm just as disappointed as you guys were because the T-Mobile Arena was absolutely electric. We finally saw it. You're talking about the guy who's supposed to be disappointed that he's finally making the walk, that he finally showed up. I believe he wants to fight me. I believe he tried to fight me. I believe he wanted to fight me. I believe that's how the negotiations went. Other plans were made. But the honor and the integrity of wanting to stick to and be a man of his word since he pulled out of that fight back in 2024, International Fight Week against me, I think he wanted to actually be a man of his word and see through to putting his name on that dotted line that had my name on it. But I know everybody is disappointed, but keep on watching. This ain't the last you're going to see of Conor. And I'm excited to see how it all plays out. God bless. I'll see you at the top.
That wasn't a normal I can't continue reaction. It was kind of like a...
I think he was in shock. Like, oh my God,
maybe.
my fucking knee just blew out and he didn't know what to... he didn't know what was like... It was just a looked genuine reaction.
He's back there.
Yeah, I would love to believe all these conspiracy theories and these, but the fact of it is, the truth of it is, it was a freak accident. It was a fucking freak accident. He's not going to show up just to get paid. He's not going to show up and have a shitty fight to prove a point. Like, haha, you guys iced me. That, bro, the feelings he's dealing with right now isn't. He would rather have fucking made $0 and at least got to go out there and perform and maybe drop Max and maybe lose a decision for $0. He would take that than taking it what had happened. And way to bring that back.
Conor McGregor's comeback was expected to be one of the greatest moments in UFC history. However, the event has turned into an absolute tragedy within 1 minute due to a serious knee injury of the Irishman. Today, there are a lot of discussions about the event, and the people of the MMA community are split. Although some think that the accident occurred because of bad luck, others suspect that McGregor himself knew something before the fight began, or at least during its very beginning.
Do you think Conor McGregor fights again?
I do. Yeah, I do think Conor fights again. He still, has that fire and he still wants to compete. So, he has his last fight on his UFC contract. So I'm sure he wants to fulfill that and then, see what the future holds for himself. But, Conor, he needs fighting. He really does to keep structure in his life, to keep everything sane in his mind. So, fighting's good for Conor. So, he needs that.
Why I don't think there's going to be another comeback for him, right? Especially if it's a torn ACL, it's going to be another year off. I just don't think he's going to have the crowd behind him like he did for this one. He can maybe talk his way into it, but like I said, he's really not even that good of a talker anymore. Maybe you give him a Chandler fight, but Chandler, you're going to wait another year, then probably another year of him training to come back. I just think he made a lot of money this fight. I think he's pretty much done.
Do you know what else there isn't concrete proof of? That he was fine before the fight. There's none. Because he comes out and throws this kick immediately, bouncing off of his left foot, putting no weight on his right foot, and trying to land that. And at no point do we see Conor McGregor using his right foot to be able to move in and out of range, throwing punches healthily. We have zero evidence of that. Yes, we have him hitting the pads like this and seemingly struggling to regain his balance after kicking the pad once and then walking off after, the third kick. That still is no proof that Conor McGregor was in any way healthy enough to do a 25-minute fight with Max Holloway, jumping in and out of range, hitting pads the way he used to. Think of how static McGregor was when he was throwing those kicks. Now look at McGregor when he's in full flow, bouncing around, jumping all over the place. I mean, looking fluid movement. This is exactly what McGregor is. It's all about movement and fluid movement. It's not about standing in one spot like that. That's McGregor on pads in full flow. Because that body language, so much of it was screaming out to someone like me who knows McGregor the way I've been watching him so closely for so many years, analysing him for video after video after fucking video. I fucking know some shit is wrong when I see it. And you can disagree with me all you like. I don't take any offence. But even on the motherfucking ring walk, man. This is a normal Conor McGregor ring walk, okay? This is how he walks out the ring. Look at the fucking intensity in his eyes, man. It's all about the fight. It's all about, I can't wait to get in there and fucking put a beating on this guy. I am ready. And just watch the way he carries on shadow boxing the whole time. He's in the fucking zone, right? This is all about the fight, rehearsing the fight in his head over and over and over again. The fight that's about to happen. Now look at him. Looks like he's going to the fucking shop. Looks like he's going to walk the dog. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing. There is absolutely no intensity there. That doesn't look like a man who's about to have a fucking fight. Not his first fight in 5 years, where he should be a bit edgy, a bit twitchy.
Yeah, look, I think Kenny, I only heard the last minute, but I think he's dead on. I think he tried to conjure up all the things from the past that it just doesn't work like that. Look, we said it, 5 years being away and doing the right thing is hard. Even Dominic Cruz alluded to that. That guy was doing everything right. He wasn't partying. And it was 3 years, right? I think he said 5 years. I mean, steroids and fucking cocaine. I don't even know. I'm not saying it allegedly, whatever the hell it is. It's a lot, man. It's a lot on your body. Your body, there's things, I'm sure, Kenny, you think your brain says you could do, and you can't do it, right? You know what I mean? The brain is a really weird thing. It's going to make you believe certain things that just aren't true. And I think that's what we saw. Just he looked old when he got in there. He did. He looked very old to me.
Yep.
And this is not an old man's game at that weight class for sure.
Yeah.
And, the inactivity, I just think everything we said was kind of nothing. I don't think he was hurt before. He was throwing those kicks in the dressing room, but why he would even want to lead with a technique like that at this age? The older you get, Kenny, that's what you want to be, jumping in the air. Takes a lot of cardio to jump in the air too. Keep joking.
Chael Sonnen confessed he had his reservations about the intensity of Conor McGregor's preparation before the bout. In particular, when the latter was attending various press conferences in New York and LA, he kept coming across information that apart from that, he was also working hard on something else. Intrigued by such statements, Sonnen reached out to Conor's team asking for the name of the gym or people he prepared with, and what he got was another mystery because there was nothing specific about any gym or partner Conor trained with. Moreover, there were no photos or videos of the people who worked with him during training sessions.
As I watched him doing media in New York. I then, the following week, watched him doing media in Los Angeles. But I'm being told he's in the gym training in Ireland. I just brought that to your attention. So I even reached out to his team. I said, hey, where's he training at? They said, no, he's all set up. He's at a gym in California. So well, that's great. I got a camera crew and I got a team out there in Dana Point. I'll get him over to the gym. I know every gym in California. Where's he at? Well, the gym doesn't have a name. Gym doesn't have a name. Okay. Who's he training with? I didn't ask this question, but I'm just saying to you guys, who's he training with? Because it comes back to Telephone Telegraph for Telefighter. Those training partners, above the workouts, above the dollars they're going to get for rounds and time, they would like some exposure. They would love a picture with Conor McGregor, blow that up on their social media. They would love that. No one posted anything. So then you have the coaches. Now, I know that Conor keeps that staff tight. I have no doubt that Coach Roddy, that Coach Kevin, I have no doubt that the team was there, but working out with who?
Building on those doubts, Sonnen pointed to another moment that made him even more skeptical. While much of the discussion has centered on the kick that appeared to damage McGregor's knee, he believes a more revealing sign came earlier. Sonnen noticed that McGregor briefly lost his balance immediately after throwing a punch, something he found far more alarming than the kick itself. In his view, that sequence suggested something was already off with McGregor's movement, fueling further speculation that the injury may have been affecting him before the fight came to its dramatic conclusion.
And it's a very meaningful question because there were some moments in that fight. Okay, there was one very specifically. Everything that I have heard so far is talking about the jumping kick or the kicks by Conor and the leg going out. I didn't see what Joe Rogan saw. Joe Rogan was confident in telling the broadcast world that he blew out his knee. That may be accurate information. I'm just sharing for you. I didn't see that. Now, the moment, if you go back and rewatch this fight, the moment where you question and go, oh no, oh no, this human, this young man, Conor, isn't ready. He didn't prepare right. He throws a punch, right? We're all thinking of the kicks, but if you rewatch it, he threw a punch and he went down. He lost his balance. He lost his balance.
Amid mounting questions regarding what actually transpired inside the cage, Michael Bisping changed gears to focus on the future. The former champion stated that McGregor's immediate hurdle is to recover from his surgery, which will depend entirely on how serious his injury is. Further down the line, as Bisping pointed out, McGregor is allegedly down to his last fight under his UFC contract, opening up a range of possibilities for the future. Whether he signs another contract, finds work elsewhere, or simply retires, as far as Bisping was concerned, the most important question was what type of fighter McGregor would turn out to be.
Now, what is going to happen next? Well, first of all, we know he's going to have surgery, okay? Is it a torn ACL? Is it a torn meniscus? If it's a meniscus, he might be back within 6 months. If it's an ACL, a year. It could be 18 months. You never know. Maybe that's the end of his career. But he's only got one fight left on his contract, okay? Now, one would assume, and I'm not speaking for the UFC, I'm a commentator, but I'm speaking on behalf of Michael Bisping here. One would assume the UFC are going to try and renegotiate and sign him to a longer contract before he has that next fight. And he has the right to say, I want to have my last fight and be a free man and go off and do my own thing and maybe start his own promotion, his own fight league, maybe box some people, maybe go and box Jake Paul, do some MMA on Netflix. We don't know, right? But if he does have one fight, who is that person going to be? And what will Conor McGregor look like then? Because he's already had 5 years off with a broken leg. Now he's torn the ACL.
Taking this controversy even further, MMA Guru wondered if McGregor's attitude following his injury was telling something else entirely. Guru referenced the frustration McGregor recently expressed about his UFC deal. According to him, the former champion had voiced complaints about being held back by UFC in terms of his next bouts because of the promotional deal they needed to finalize, despite having his fights figured out. While Guru emphasized that the injury might just be an actual ACL tear, he couldn't overlook the way McGregor acted following his injury. Instead of being one of the fighters who has to stop due to an injury, his behavior gave some grounds for the ongoing speculation. While questions remain regarding what the future holds for McGregor, Sean O'Malley believes McGregor's fighting career is far from over. According to O'Malley, there is no question in his mind that McGregor will be back to compete again, even going as far as to say he will come back with a knockout win. However, beyond just being disappointed in his loss on account of the competition, O'Malley also noted that McGregor losing hurt him personally. O'Malley claimed that there is no doubt in his mind that McGregor is struggling with things outside of the octagon, and it pained him to see him experience another heartbreak. Along those lines, Colby Covington is also of the opinion that the Conor McGregor saga inside the octagon is far from over. He feels that McGregor will bounce back, come back to make good on the one last fight in his UFC contract before moving on to decide where he wants to take his career. However, for Covington, the matter transcends the commercial aspects or anything related to legacy. His theory was that McGregor gets meaning and purpose out of fighting, which allows him to have focus outside the octagon as well. Not everyone believes McGregor will make another comeback. Former welterweight champion Belal Muhammad thinks the latest injury could mark the end of his fighting career. He argued that if McGregor has torn his ACL, another year-long recovery would make a return even more unlikely. Belal also questioned whether fans would rally behind him the way they did this time after yet another extended layoff. Given everything McGregor has already accomplished and earned, he believes the former champion may be finished with the sport. Adding to the speculation, Brian Davis of The Pain Game argued that there is no clear evidence McGregor entered the fight fully healthy. He pointed out that from the opening seconds, McGregor appeared reluctant to put weight on his right leg, relying heavily on his left while throwing kicks and moving around the cage. Davis also noted that McGregor's recent pad work footage lacked the fluid footwork and explosive movement that have long defined his striking style. To him, the contrast suggested something may have already been limiting McGregor before the fight began, although he acknowledged there is no definitive proof of that. Continuing his analysis, Davis said it wasn't just McGregor's movement that raised red flags, it was his entire demeanor. Having studied McGregor's fights for years, he felt something seemed off from the moment the former champion made his walk to the cage. Davis argued that McGregor normally carries an unmistakable intensity, constantly shadowboxing and looking fully locked in before a fight. This time, however, he felt that energy was missing. To Davis, McGregor appeared unusually subdued and lacked the focused body language that has traditionally defined his biggest performances, further fueling his belief that something wasn't right before the opening bell. John Anik also felt McGregor looked different before the fight. He said the former champion lacked the usual intensity and confidence that normally define his walk to the octagon, with even his signature billionaire strut seeming less animated. However, Anik does not believe McGregor entered the cage already injured. Instead, he thinks the injury happened during the fight, while acknowledging that McGregor's unusual body language before the opening bell was hard to ignore. Moreover, Ray Longo believes McGregor's long absence from competition finally caught up with him. He agreed that the former champion seemed to be trying to recapture the version of himself from years ago, but after such a lengthy layoff, that is far easier said than done. Longo argued that years away from elite competition, combined with the wear and tear on McGregor's body, may have taken a significant toll. In his view, McGregor simply didn't look like the explosive fighter fans remembered, saying he appeared slower and older from the moment the fight began. What do you think? Was McGregor's injury just bad luck? Or was something wrong before the fight? Will he ever return? Share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more UFC updates.